understanding consciousness beyond the human lens, beyond spiritual narratives, a broader context for consciousness. Take a slow breath. There is something very simple here. Before your thoughts about this moment, before your identity, before your opinions about consciousness, there is awareness. Not as an idea, as a fact. Most confusion about consciousness does not come from lack of intelligence. It comes from using the wrong lens. The human lens tends to treat consciousness as something you have, something you grow, something you raise, something you achieve. But what if consciousness is not something you possess? What if it is the condition that makes experience possible at all? That shift changes everything. You are not inside consciousness as a small self trying to reach something higher. You are already occurring within it. And the self you think you are is a pattern forming inside that larger field of awareness. This is not mystical, it is structural. Thought appears, emotion appears, sensation appears, memory appears, identity appears. All of these are contents. Consciousness is not the content. It is the capacity in which content appears. When we understand consciousness only through the human lens, we confuse intensity with expansion. We think heightened emotion means higher awareness. We think activation means awakening. We think amplification means illumination. But amplification and illumination are not always the same movement. Amplification increases volume. Illumination reduces distortion. One makes experience louder, the other makes perception clearer. The human nervous system plays a crucial role here. It regulates how much experience can be integrated at once. When bandwidth exceeds regulation, the system becomes overwhelmed. When activation exceeds integration, exhaustion follows. Many people are not spiritually failing. They are running more perceptual input than their nervous systems can metabolize. From a developmental perspective, the movement beyond the human lens is not about becoming extraordinary. It is about becoming structurally coherent. It is about widening without fragmenting. It is about holding complexity without collapsing into polarity. The human lens loves certainty. It loves narrative. It loves hierarchy. It loves higher and lower. But consciousness itself does not operate as a ladder. It operates as capacity. Wider capacity means you can hold conflicting information without panic. You can feel emotion without being captured by it. You can experience intensity without mistaking it for truth. You can pause before assigning meaning. This is maturity in consciousness, not dramatic states, not visionary experiences, not cosmic identity. Steadiness, clarity, reduced distortion. When consciousness is misunderstood, people chase experience. When consciousness is recognized, people refine perception. There is a difference. Experience can be amplified endlessly. Perception can be clarified endlessly. One exhausts the system. The other stabilizes it. Beyond the human lens, Consciousness is not personal in the way identity is personal. Identity is a model constructed from memory, language, culture, relationship, and biology. It is real, but it is assembled. Consciousness is what allows the assembly to occur. You can verify this directly. Notice right now, awareness is here before you try to define it. It does not strain to exist. It does not argue for itself. It does not need belief. It simply is. That presence is not made of your biography. It holds your biography. When this is recognized, something softens. The pressure to become special reduces. The urgency to interpret everything reduces. The need to prove awakening reduces. You begin to sense that what you are looking for is not elsewhere. It is the very capacity you are looking through. This does not make life easier in a superficial way. You still have responsibilities. You still have relationships. You still have grief and joy. But the contraction underneath begins to dissolve. Because you are no longer trying to stabilize yourself through narrative. You are stabilizing through structure. Structure means the nervous system is regulated. Attention is steady. Meaning is not assigned impulsively. Identity is held lightly. Perception widens rather than narrows under stress. This is what higher consciousness actually looks like in lived form. Not spectacle, coherence. Not escape, integration. Not hierarchy, widening. When consciousness is understood beyond the human lens, spiritual language becomes optional. You do not need elaborate cosmologies to know what awareness is. You do not need status labels to recognize presence. You do not need dramatic experiences to confirm depth. You begin to value clarity over intensity, integration over activation, discernment over fascination, steadiness over spectacle. This is a developmental shift. It is the movement from narrative-based spirituality to structural literacy, from chasing states to refining perception, from amplification to illumination. And here is the profound remembering. You were never separate from consciousness. You were never outside it. You were never a fragment trying to climb into wholeness. You have always been occurring within the very capacity you were seeking. The only shift is recognition. And recognition does not arrive as fireworks. It arrives as quiet, as dignity, as a subtle widening, as the sense that you can be here, fully human, without shrinking or inflating yourself. That is not a spiritual peak. It is home. A field transmission through Robin Walton. Stabilized perception interface within consciousness architecture.